And welcome to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. I'm filling in for Chris Wright. I'm John Garlick. Sitting next to me, Chief Deputy Matthew Wade.
I haven't been on the show in a couple of weeks. Had a little time off from work, had a little surgery, so I'm glad to be back and glad to be back on the job.
Went well. You got a nice new shoulder.
Everything's good.
Beautiful shirt.
Beautiful shirt. It was given to me.
Shirt?
A very dear friend of mine gave me that shirt. But it's always good to be on the show. Our guys have always done their work. They've never let us down, and this week is no different.
No different. So what did they do last week?
Hey, 5 arrests, all because somebody was willing to get involved. It brings our count up to 3,661 people put in jail, once again, because somebody was willing to be involved. You know, we hear that so often in law enforcement. It says, well, you know, I really didn't know if I should call law enforcement. I really didn't want to get involved. Well, if you don't get involved, it really makes it much harder for us to do our job, because this is a partnership. Us and the citizens aren't separate. We have to work together, and that's our goal with this show.
And in Calhoun County, everybody works together really well.
We try to.
This is a blessed county for that, I think. We really are doing a good job. And there's something else going on that makes us a blessed county, too.
Let me tell you how this kind of started. We're having a Cops for Cause 5K on April the 23rd. And how that come about is I was teaching some kids in T-ball that had cerebral palsy. I've gotten involved with some other people as adults that have it, and I have ended up on the UCP board, which is a great thing. I'd like to say I was doing something for them, but every time I go to the UCP center, those guys and girls there, they always make me feel much better. They do so much more for me than I could, and I wanted to do something back for them. So I come up with an idea of doing a 5K race. In the Deputy Sheriff's Association involved, and every bit of money we collect, we're going to give that right back to the UCP Foundation. And we're doing that through the 5K, April the 23rd. You can go on our website, you can contact me. If you go to our Facebook page and email me, you can do that. You can register all the way up to the day of the race. If you register to be guaranteed a shirt, you need to do that by April the 15th. It's $20. We'll start at the UCP Center, which is at 415 Castle Avenue on Fort McClellan, and of course do the 5K. And we're hoping to give them between $8,000 and $10,000 is what our goal is, our personal goal to raise for this good cause. And hey, the shirts are pretty cool. Nothing like having a Cop for a Cause T-shirt, and hopefully we can do this every year. But we would appreciate everybody coming and running. And if you're like me, you don't like running, you can walk it if you want. Nobody's going to penalize you for that. But we'll have our bike patrol there. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have all kinds of food, water. It's going to be more than just that. We're going to have some bouncy things for some kids.
Bouncy things are fun.
Bouncy things are fun, but I did find out there's a weight limit, so I'm out. But you know,
well, you can run, and maybe you'll be within the weight limit when you.
It's going to take a lot of running for me to be in the weight limit. But look, this is something that we want our law enforcement officers to be more than just working the streets. We want to be involved in our community. This is one more way we can get deputies and correctional officers and communications officers to be a part of our community and do something and give back, because nothing makes you feel better than helping somebody else, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's right. What time is registration on that Saturday?
We'll be there, man, early. You know, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I know we'll be there by 7. I think the race starts at 8, somewhere along that line. But you can, if you Google Cops for a Cause or go to our Facebook page, it's all over that. You don't know, you can always call the sheriff's office and ask for me, and I will get you the information and make sure that we get you the registration link. And this race is sanctioned for these runners out there. The Anniston Runners Club has sanctioned this race, I think. So,
outstanding. Cops for a Cause.
Cops for a Cause. We're going to help some folks and have some fun doing it. So,
outstanding. Well, we're going to have some fun right after we get back from the first half of our lineup. So we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead,
drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to wash my camo so I'm ready for hunting season.
Get that stuff out of my washer. You should take it to a laundromat.
There isn't any good laundries around here.
Sure there is. Wash and Anniston Coin Laundry on Quintard across from Walgreens and beside the Social Security office.
They have a washer that can handle a real man's jacket?
They have the biggest washers and dryers around, and you can get all your stuff finished within an hour.
Awesome. I'm headed to Washington Anniston Coin Laundry at 829 Quintard, and then I can take the rest of the day to get my other gear ready.
Or maybe you can finish the yard work.
Yeah, right after I sight my bow.
Do you love vintage cars? How about tasty barbecue ribs? Throw in super low rates on new vehicles and you have a new twist on the annual Credit Union car sale. We're calling it Ribs, Rides, and Rates. AOD Federal Credit Union invites you to join the fun at McClellan Medical Park April 19th through the 25th. AOD FCU loan officers will be on site for immediate approval. Join AOD FCU for the Ribs, Rides, and Rates Credit Union Car Show and Sale. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford for the best cars and best price.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston Stroud with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. Parents, are you modeling perseverance for your children? Are you clearing the way for your child so that they never have to overcome any obstacles? How can our kids push through and be creative and innovative when they are handed everything they desire? When parents do this, kids never get the opportunity to problem solve, to figure things out, to come up with their own ideas, to engage their brains and feel empowered once they've moved themselves ahead. What about your child? Are you allowing your children to practice perseverance today so they can be successful tomorrow? In my home, we stress the importance of never giving up and giving it your 100% best. I also do my best to model this behavior for our children, and you should do the same. If you have any further questions or are seeking tips to help your family be successful, please call Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Madison Morrow. Miss Morrow, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear, hindering prosecution and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is DeWitt Vincent Sr. Mr. Vincent, last known to be living in Springville, Alabama, he's wanted for harassing communications. And take a look at David Barksdale. Mr. Barksdale, last known to be living in Ohatchee, he's wanted for harassing communications. And we'd like you to meet Natita Wiggins. Miss Wiggins, last known to be living in Jacksonville, she's wanted for failure to appear on negotiating a worthless negotiable instrument. And this is Jessica Hyde. Miss Hyde, last known to be living in Piedmont, she's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of a controlled substance and failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Christina Broom. Miss Broom, last known to be living in Cedartown, Georgia, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property second. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Troy Beal. Mr. Beal, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on possession of marijuana second. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. And welcome back. We hope you noticed somebody in that lineup, and if you did, give us a call and we'll go get them. Right now, we want to talk about some really good stuff that's going on around town. We've got Rachel Israel, who is our investigator at the Child Advocacy Center, investigates all those nasty things that we don't want to think about. And Sarah Downs, who will be a recent graduate, soon to be recent graduate from JSU's social work program, who's interning at the Child Advocacy Center. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right, so you've got some really fun stuff to talk about.
Yes,
You've
we
done
do.
some interesting things.
Well, April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and we are here to make sure that parents know how to have early prevention, how to sit down and have an open and early conversation with their children and make sure that their children are being safe. And that's what we do at the Calhoun Cleveland Children's Center.
Yes. This past calendar year, we have had 504 interviews come through the center. In the last fiscal year, it was 453.
And I want to talk a little bit, those 500 in 4 interviews is children that may or may not have been abused, but for some reason a case was opened and had been investigated. And we are very lucky here in Calhoun County with the Children's Center and the protocol we have, how these children are interviewed once forensically and done professionally, and they don't have to be interviewed by multiple people and exposing the children to more harm than good. But you know, it's just sad, 504 children were potentially victims, and that's the ones we know of. That's not even, doesn't count the ones that we don't know of.
That's correct.
So you said you wanted to talk about what parents can look for, and then how should they talk to their children?
Yes. Well, we need to be more involved as caring adults, and for the well-being of our children, we need to sit down and have an open conversation with them and explain to them what is an okay touch and what is not an okay touch. We need to explain to them stranger danger also, but not everybody they come in contact with, unfortunately, is a stranger.
Right.
It's occurring more and more often that...
Well, in today's world, used to, we were worried about somebody coming up in a car or side of the street. Now, parents, in today's technology, we have given everyone, me included, give our children devices that opens, with internet capabilities, that opens the entire world. I mean, the WWW stands for World Wide Web, so we're giving our children full access to the whole world in their bedroom, where, they're sitting in their room and you're thinking they're watching TV, and they're exposed to anybody and everybody. And today's world is just so much different that I talk to my daughter every day. It goes something as simple as sexting all the way up to, have you seen this person? Do you know this person that you're conversing with? And it scares me as a parent.
Yes, that is correct. Now 86% of the actual perpetrators in our cases are people that the child actually knows. There's no longer strangers. And we need to have those conversations early in childhood with our children. It needs to be an open conversation, and it needs to be a conversation where they feel that if anything ever happens to them, they can come and talk to us no matter what.
So how early is early?
Well, as soon as the child knows how to recognize body parts, and that's something that as a parent we have to sit down with our children and say, this is our body parts. The parts that cover with the swimsuit are considered private parts, and let them actually know what I'm going to call this, and that is not an okay place for a stranger or someone we know to touch. And that's one way that we can cause that awareness to become in an early age in their
Is there
childhood.
any advice to parents on how to vet the people that are watching their children? Because so oftentimes, like you said, 86% of the time they know them, so it's going to be
almost 9 out of 10, almost 9 out, 8.5 times out of 10, you're saying the person that abusing these children are known to them.
That's
family
correct.
member,
It's a
a
family
cousin,
member, yes.
A family friend. I mean, somebody who the parents have given access to their children
Yes,
with.
and they're trusted people that parents somehow feel that it's okay for them to be around them. And so signs that the parents need to be more aware of is that person wanting to spend more time alone with the child. How does the child react around them? Does the child seem to want to avoid being with that person? Does he feel uncomfortable, or does he or she feel uncomfortable? Does he or she tend to stray away, kind of go away from the person, not want to be around that person? Just different things that we need to notice as parents and be more involved in our children. And as the children grow older, teenager years, you've got so much more to be on the lookout for. Unfortunately, like you said, we've got internet on these phones that we're providing our children. And one thing as parents that we have to do is know what our child is looking at. We are the owners of those phones. Even though we've given those phones to our children, we need to know what they're looking at, who they're texting.
I like the Ronald Reagan method at my house is we trust but verify.
Yes.
I pay the bill, the phone is inspected, and my wife bird dogs that, but nothing replaces involvement with your children. If you have that involvement, then hopefully they will feel better about talking to you as well. But we've seen cases where they're adults now and they come back and say, this happened to me. And it's just heart-wrenching.
Well, there's lots to pay attention to, and we'll talk more about that. But first, we have to go to a break, and time for our second half of the lineup. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with the child advocacy folks in just a couple of minutes.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead. Drug addict. Alcoholic. Meth freak.
a wretch like me.
I once was.
homeless,
broken, sad,
Just lost. But now I am sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Your word is rigmarole,
Can you define it?
a long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
Do you love vintage cars? How about tasty barbecue ribs? Throw in super low rates on new vehicles and you have a new twist on the annual Credit Union car sale. We're calling it Ribs, Rides, and Rates. AOD Federal Credit Union invites you to join the fun at McClellan Medical Park April 19th through the 25th. AOD FCU loan officers will be on site for immediate approval. Join AOD FCU for the Ribs, Rides, and Rates Credit Union Car Show and Sale. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup this week. First up this half, Desmond Jackson. Mr. Jackson, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to appear on carrying a pistol without a license. And meet Curtis Ramsey. Mr. Ramsey, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted on probation violation for manufacture of a controlled substance. And take a look at Richard Bailey. Mr. Bailey, last known to be living in East Aboga, he's wanted for probation revocation on carrying a pistol without a license. And meet Albert Weems. Mr. Weems, last known to be living in Trussville, he's wanted for theft of property first by deception. And this is Freddie Lynch. Mr. Lynch, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation violation on possession and receipt of a controlled substance and possession of a forged instrument second. And last up in our lineup this week, Baron Cavender. Mr. Cavender, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for probation violation on robbery first. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of any of these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. And if you saw somebody in that lineup, right, they got a call, and we'll go get them.
Hey, you can get some free money. How about calling Crime Stoppers at 238-1414? Need your information, not your name. If it leads to an arrest, you can get up to $1,000.
And if you see Matthew running around wearing this shirt, that's a very important shirt, isn't it?
It's a very important shirt. I'll sell it to somebody.
You'll sell it?
I got many others just like it, I've been told.
Yes, you do, in fact. How many shirts do we have? Oh, there's a trick question.
Yes.
As many as somebody will pay for.
As many as someone will pay for. That is correct.
So tell us about the shirt, because I am a model. This is probably the only time in my life I'll get to be a model of anything except
Vanna Wade.
Well, since our organization is nonprofit, we get most of our money from grants and donations, and our biggest fundraiser is this shirt. And they're $10, and anybody can come by the center and come and get them.
Is there any place else besides the center they can get them?
At the Sheriff's Office, Calhoun County Sheriff's Office.
You come to get
That's
your
correct.
pistol. You come to get your pistol permit, or you just want to stop by and chat with me. We can also give you a shirt at the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir.
And there's sponsors on the back of the shirt.
Yes,
I don't know,
sir.
Matthew,
Oh,
can turn around and.
Well, we can do it.
There we go. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. Well, yeah.
The best side of me, I've been told.
There you go. Look at that. A whole list of sponsors. So what's important about these sponsors? What have they done for you?
Well, they have provided a chance, an opportunity for the Children's Center to continue interviewing forensically these children, and law enforcement coming in and being able to.
I can't speak enough about the protocol that's put in place by the Children's Center and the District Attorney's Office that every law enforcement agency in our county follows. We investigate these cases exactly the same way. It's very thorough, and there's always room to improve, but it's well done here. And I like to tell people, somebody said, y'all have a lot of sex offenders in Calhoun County. I said, no, we just investigate them really well. So, and it's very important that we have the Children's Center, and they need our support. You know, it's easy to not think it's important until somebody you know has been a victim of a crime like this.
Right, and we don't want to victimize the children again by going through, it's a traumatic experience. You have trained interviewers,
That's correct.
trained counselors there to walk through this whole process with the children so they don't have to be constantly bombarded with repeating questions and all that stuff. And they prepare them for court, too.
That is true. Yes, they do.
It's a very kind way to go.
Yes, and it also provides a location where law enforcement can come in and actually view during the forensic interview. Once it's being conducted, law enforcement can come in and sit on those interviews and actually obtain more information that way.
And hey, there's cases, sometimes we investigate cases, that y'all investigate cases, sometimes we go, hey, no crime happened here.
Exactly.
So sometimes that does happen. So
yes.
It's not always persecuting people. And I say that for people, if you hear something, you see something, you're not really sure, a lot of times people are hesitant, you know, and we seek out the truth, not necessarily what we want, and that's what y'all do a great job doing.
And you've got the reminder as we drive south on Quintard.
We do.
What are we seeing there?
Between Walgreens and Alabama Power, there are 453 pinwheels representing the children that have come through and had interviews at the center.
Just last year.
Just
last year. And that's done every year. So if you're kind of in tune to that, when you're driving down Quintard, you get a visual representation of people getting helped, really, if you want to look at the positive side of that. Those are children that are now starting on that road to healing.
Yeah, this is not their end, it's their turnaround, it's their start.
So what else do you have going on?
We also have an event coming up, which is our open house this Friday the 15th from 11:30 to 1. Everyone is cordially invited to attend and come out and celebrate with us our 25 years. We'll have snacks and refreshments, and also we will be releasing a blue balloon that will represent one for each year that the Children's Center has been up and running.
Wow, so 25 balloons, eh?
25 balloons will be released.
And who else? So if somebody comes and they just want to kind of say, wow, what's this all about? Who are they going to end up meeting? Who's going to be there?
Well, there'll be a lot of people there. There'll be Elaine Young, who's now the director here at the Children's Center, and several of our state interviewers also will be there. Some of our judges will come by. I'm hoping the sheriff and Matthew will be able to come by also, and as well as other law enforcement agencies.
Super. And so what else is going on? Anything else?
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
So it is Child Abuse Awareness Month.
That is correct.
And parents need to be looking out for behaviors that their children might be exhibiting that might give them cause to be worried. So, you know, even though your child may be crying about going to visit Uncle Bob, and it may seem like this is really inconvenient, it could be a warning sign, a red flag, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, very good. We are so happy to have had you on the show. We hope, is there a web page or a contact that people can call? When
we do have a web page. It's Calhoun Cleveland Children's Center. We are on Facebook. It's our web page. And we also can be contacted at 256-238-0902 if you have any questions or want to know how to become more involved in this great work.
And one great way is to buy a t-shirt.
Yes.
Buy a t-shirt.
Buy a t-shirt.
Buy a t-shirt and spread the word. Well, thank you for being on the show. We'll be right back with our crazy criminal and this week's version of Crime Stoppers. So take a look at those cases, see if you can't give us a hand.
Do you love vintage cars? How about tasty barbecue ribs? Throw in super low rates on new vehicles and you have a new twist on the annual Credit Union car sale. We're calling it Ribs, Rides, and Rates. AOD Federal Credit Union invites you to join the fun at McClellan Medical Park April 19th through the 25th. AOD FCU loan officers will be on site for immediate approval. Join AOD FCU for the Ribs, Rides, and Rates Credit Union Car Show and Sale. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved.
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was.
Homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost. But now I am sober.
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to wash my camo so I'm ready for hunting season.
Get that stuff out of my washer. You should take it to a laundromat.
There isn't any good laundries around here.
Sure there is. Washington Aniston Coin Laundry on Quintard across from Walgreens and beside the Social Security office.
They have a washer that can handle a real man's jacket?
They have the biggest washers and dryers around, and you can get all your stuff finished within an hour.
Awesome. I'm headed to Washington Aniston Coin Laundry at 829 Quintard, and then I can take the rest of the day to get my other gear ready.
Or maybe you can finish the yard work.
Yeah, right after I sight my bow.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we like you to help us out with a few of the cases that our investigators are working on. First up on your caseload this week, between April 1st and April 3rd, a chainsaw and a weed eater were stolen from this residence on Malip Lane in Alexandria. And sometime between March 28th and April 4th, a vehicle was broken into on Cedar Springs Road. They got away with some cash, credit cards, and a wallet. And between April 4th and April 5th, a weed eater and chainsaw were stolen from this residence on Collins Road in Ohatchee. And sometime between March 24th and April 7th, the storage building at Spring Branch Storage on Gladden Lane in Alexandria was burglarized. 2 television sets and jewelry were stolen from that location. And on April 7th, a vehicle was broken into on Highway 431 in Anniston. Hunting and fishing gear were stolen from that vehicle. And last up on our caseload this week, on April 7th, Local Joe's Barbecue on Highway 144 was burglarized. The alarm went off, but nothing has been reported taken at this time. So if you have any information on these cases, and we hope you do, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Well, welcome back. Before we talk about the crazy criminal, we hope you looked at those cases that were on the Crime Stoppers portion, and we get a lot of information on the people we have warrants for, and we get some information on those cases, but those are very, very important. We hope that you've noticed something, and will give us a call on those. But our crazy criminal this week comes from the Sunshine State of Florida. So, you're a deputy, you're on patrol, you get a call to go to an alarm call at a business, and you roll up, and you're looking at the business, and this guy knocks on your window and says, "Hey, my car won't start. Can you jump me off?" Now, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, the parking lot of a business where there's an alarm going off, and you see this car there, and the battery's dead. So what's the first thing you do when you notice that car?
FBI would call that a clue.
It's a clue, but you're probably going to run the tag, right?
I'm going to run him, tag, we're going to find out who he is. Yeah.
And that car comes back as stolen.
Oh, he's...
Yeah. So if you steal a car...
And you break into a business.
And your battery's dead.
It'd be better off just to probably run than ask the law enforcement officers responding to jump you off, but I think he's calling us really stupid on that aspect of it. That, luckily the officer didn't jump him off and let him go on his way. Oh no!
Yeah, that would have been bad.
That would have been bad.
But so that was kind of a 2-for-1. Alarm call, and you got a stolen vehicle. A twofer. Yeah. Well, so we've got your Cops for a Cause coming up on the 23rd. Right.
We want people to come, enjoy, those that like to run. I don't know who those people are. They're not me. The best part about running and stopping, but we would like for your support so we can help the UCP out, 23rd of April.
And if you really like 5Ks, there's a 5K coming up this Saturday for Family Links out there at Fort McClellan. So we hope you tune in for those and come run with those people that like to run. And
I'm moral support.
Yes, and we hope to see you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup here at Calhoun County's Most Wanted.